So my name is Stefan. I'm a sales engineer for Southeastern Europe for Forcepoint. And today I would like to talk a little bit about digital transformation, where you at in this digital transformation race, and how can Forcepoint help you. But first thing first, I'm not exactly sure how many of you know who Forcepoint is. Okay. So Forcepoint is a fairly new company. It's, let's say, founded in January 2016. So again, it's quite new. But we have like a good background. How Forcepoint was created by a company called Raytheon. Raytheon being the largest, as far as you know, defense company in US. They are, building rockets, exoskeletons, and things like that. And they acquired the company called WebSense. Probably you'll know more about WebSense. They acquired WebSense because they wanted to be able to sell some military-grade products to into the commercial space. So they acquired WebSense. This was somewhere in 2015. I don't know exactly when. For a while it was called WebSense Raytheon or Raytheon WebSense, doesn't matter. And then in 2016, January 2016, Forcepoint was created. Since then, we acquired other companies. For example, we acquired StoneSoft from Intel Security, McAfee. So we have Next Generation Firewall. We acquired a company or product, basically called Skyfence from Imperva. So we have Cloud Access Security Broker. We have all the legacy products from WebSense, Web Security, DLP, Email Security, and others. And of course, considering that Raytheon bought us basically, we have some products coming from their portfolio, which is called Raytheon Cyber Products. And we have, let's say, niche products for insider threats, for companies, especially in the energy, utility sector, like SCADA networks, things like that. So we have solutions for protecting that kind of, let's say, data or companies. And the rest you can see it on the slide. So when we're talking about digital transformation, we need to look at some numbers. According to some reports, some of them are there on the slides. It's something like in the past 7 years, companies spent $1 trillion on cybersecurity. Are we successful with that? Well, according to reports, not so much. So we've been successful like 5%, and the rest of the 95% is a success for attackers. And here in the bottom you can see some interesting information. Almost half of the companies say that they can't prevent attackers from getting in. Almost 100% of the CISOs say that a successful attack will happen via a phishing email or phishing campaign, phishing attack. Why? Because your employee or your employees will receive an email that looks legitimate, they will click on that link, and then you probably know the story. And even if we spent like $1 trillion in the last 7 years, we still see an increase in security incidents. It's a difference of the number of security incidents is rising 2.5% more, 2.5 more than the actual budgets. So you are investing an amount of money, but the number of incidents is still rising 2.5 more than your investments. So you need to do something. And as far as I know, the reports are quite new, but they're not that clear on the slides. So what we can do, or what will happen with this digital transformation? So the digital transformation will unlock huge budgets. I'm not sure if 100 trillion is correct or not. I have no idea. I think it's for the next 10 years, and it's a report from World Economic Forum, so it must be correct, but I don't know about that. But still, we'll have a huge amount of money to invest in cybersecurity, and if we look on the right, security is still the number one, let's say, pain point for CISOs, technicians, or whatever. Then we have some other things, but the most important one is security with 31%. Again, we are investing, or companies actually are investing a huge amount of money, but still security is a problem. So, in order to, let's say, and or better divide this digital transformation story, because I think this year you'll hear more and more about digital transformation. So it's easier to break this digital transformation into 4 pillars. So we have the first pillar is cloud, or software as a service, doesn't matter right now. So even if you like it or not, cloud is happening and cloud will happen. Either that, again, you like it and you are doing something into that in that direction, or you'll be forced to. For example, look at Microsoft with Office 365. You don't have another alternative for like Office on-premise or Exchange on-premise or something like that. You can still have it, that's for sure, but you saw that they put an option for hybrid. They are trying to move you to cloud. And there are other examples as well, like Box, Workday, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and other applications that are purely cloud-based. Again, even if you like it or not, you'll move to cloud. Okay, you're moving to cloud, you are, let's say, happy with that, but still you need to take into consideration security, accountability, and things like that. So, the second pillar is data. Data is the new oil. Data is your most important asset. In data, you have basically your company. If you lose that data, or if someone steals that data, you basically lose everything. You lose time, you lose money, and you probably lose reputation. And reputation, I think, is more important than other factors. So with data, you need to protect it, because again, that's an important asset, but you need to let it to flow freely. So you cannot, I don't know, put a lock on a server and you have your data in there and that's it. You have to let it flow, but you have to let it flow in a secure manner. Third pillar is, let's say, network or networks. Yes, in this digital transformation race, you need to, of course, you have your local networks and things like that. But networks, or I don't know, IT administrator, network administrators actually will need to work with security, with your security guys, with your security organization, in order to adapt those networks to this digital transformation race. You cannot keep your on-premise firewall and you consider yourself protected. No, because I can take my laptop, I'm going home, and that's it. So again, things we need to adapt. And the last pillar, which is, let's say, a bit more complicated to talk about, is workforce. So your employees and partners. So you have to think about all these digital transformation race, steps, pillars, whatever, also from your workforce perspective. So they will not be like completely locked down, they need to do their job and things like that. But also for the suppliers, for your partners, or well, depending on the vertical of your industry. But again, you'll have to take them into consideration, otherwise you are probably losing the digital transformation race. Now, we have cloud, we have cloud, we have data, we have networks, and we have employees, people, and we have So cloud, data, networks, and workforce, all your people. Considering that, not right now, but in the future, you will not have full control over what's happening in cloud or over public networks. You need to have, or you need to focus on two, let's say, constants. One is users, so your employees, and one is data. So if I may, I want to just read some reports. So one of the reports says that 73% of the enterprises will run almost entirely on software as a service by 2020, which is not that far away. So 73% of the enterprises. 87% of the companies rely on their employees using personal devices to access business applications. So I have my phone, bring your own device. I have my phone, I have my personal laptop. I can be productive, I can work. So you have to do something in order to protect everything. And, again, I'm not sure if it's correct or not, 2.5 quintillion bytes of data created each day. So there is a huge amount of data that is created, of confidential data that is created each day, that again, you need to protect. I'm not sure, I'm not saying that you have this amount of data in your organization. It's like a global, let's say, report, but still there is a huge amount of data created each and every day in your own companies. So we have this thing, and basically from left you need to go, or the idea is to go to the right. We have network-centric security, where, as I said earlier, you have your perimeter, you can put firewalls, IPSs, whatever, and you can protect that, that's for sure. And then we are moving to something which is called virtual and app-centric. So basically starting from this point, and you'll see in another slide, we are moving for virtual environments, clouds, and things like that, and probably the majority of us are over there. But then again, you have to have in mind this user and data-centric security. So you cannot control your cloud, you cannot control all networks, but users and data is what you can control. So let's see a little bit about traditional security here on the left. What traditional security says? Well, traditional security says that you have a number of policies, or one policy, doesn't matter for this example, and you apply it to the whole company, or to a group of users, or to a department, or whatever, something like that. But what will happen if one of the users from that group does something which is not, let's say, ethical, but it's allowed by that security policy? It will be allowed, you will not know about that, and probably you'll have a breach, or whatever, a data leak, etc. So the other way around is to have a policy that restricts them of doing basically everything. Is that a good approach? Probably not. It's not up to me to decide, you can decide that. But what will happen? So me as a user, I will see that, I want to copy some pictures from my vacation to a USB drive. And the system, because the policy says that everything is locked down, it will block me. What will happen? Well, me as a user, probably I will get frustrated because I want to do a simple task. I want to copy some pictures, so nothing confidential, from my laptop to the USB drive, and I'm being blocked. What's the next thing that can happen? Well, probably I will go to the IT department, to the IT guys, and I will ask them, or I will talk with them and say something like, look, I want to copy this picture, and I'm being blocked. What they can do, they can add an exception, for example. But now I have an exception for USB drives. So now I can copy my pictures and confidential data. Is this a good approach, like locking everything down? No. What's happening on the administrator side? They will probably get an alert for each attempt of copying pictures, whatever, or copying files to USB drives. They will be overwhelmed with alerts that they basically have to look at, and probably at some point, without managers knowing whatever, they will disable that policy. Again, employees will have access to USB drives, and they will be able to also leak confidential data. This is not something that you want. So, if we are looking at user and data-centric security, we are talking about human-centric cyber security. And that's the Forcepoint's headline for, I think, close to, I don't know, 2 years now, I don't know, 1.5 years, human-centric cyber security. You probably, if you look on our website, you can see that as dynamic data protection for some use cases or risk adaptive protection. This means that you don't need to have a general policy that is applied to, again, a company, group of users, etc. You can have one-to-one policies based on the risk level. So this means that, for example, you have a policy that I know, monitors the flow of confidential data, or copying confidential data to USB drives or something like that, but only monitors that. And you have, let's say, for the sake of the example, you have 3 security groups. There are not 3 in the actual solution, but let's say that you have 3. You have a low security group, a medium security group, and a high security group, or high risk actually. Low risk, medium risk, and high risk. What will happen? Well, the policy will, as I said earlier, will monitor the flow of confidential data. And that's what you want. If you have a user in a low risk security group, they will be able to work, they will be able to be productive, they will be able to, I don't know, move that data where it needs to go, to suppliers, business partners, customers, whatever the case may be. But what could happen, for example, if that in the meantime, the same user, so the same user that has access to that confidential data, receives a phishing email. Well, they don't know that's a phishing email, but anyways, they receive a phishing email, they click on that link, and what happens? So because they click on that phishing link and probably, or most probably they got somehow infected, the system automatically moves them into a medium risk group. And it will monitor closely the activities that that user is doing. It can be from everything like, I don't know, which website you are trying to access, to which destination you are trying to send confidential data, things like that. But also it can, with the help of other solutions, of course, it can also help, you know, monitor the activity on the screen. So imagine they got a malware, and that malware is actually doing some actions. You can see with the help of one of our solutions what is actually happening. So a video capture, video replay of what is happening on that desktop. Now, if, for example, that same person that now is in a medium risk group, I don't know, starts to copy a huge volume of confidential data to I don't know, a website in Russia or China or whatever, the system again can automatically move that user in a high risk group and block everything. This is just for our example. You can do much more with that. So the same user, based on his risk, based on his interaction with, let's say, IT systems, Forcepoint with human-centric cybersecurity can do or can apply different actions. Again, in reality, there are 5 risk levels, so you can be even more granular. But for the sake of the example and marketing PowerPoint, we have 3 groups. Now, this is a question, but the answer will come automatically. This is a question basically for you. and more or less summarizes what we talked so far. The thing that you have on the left, probably you already recognize a number of software as a service applications or clouds. Basically, you have Box, Office, 365, Salesforce, LinkedIn, email, whatever. Probably you recognize some of your own devices, mobile phones. They have access to email from that mobile phone, probably. Laptops, probably at some point, those again will become Windows device. And networks will need to follow. So in this environment where you own the data, but you don't own the devices, you don't own the network and things like that, what's the best way to protect that? Well, focus on humans, on your employees, and the data that you want to protect. This is another question for you. I'm not looking for an answer right now, but this is a question for you. Where are you in this digital transformation race, journey, whatever? This graphic, this curve was created by Gartner, so it's not that Forcepoint created. And again, it's not looking for answers like, look, I'm in information-centric, but I want to go to analytics-centric and things like that. It's just for you, it's just to help you to see where you are and what you need to do next in order to progress in this journey. Because, for example, if you are in information-centric cybersecurity, you have some cloud applications, you have some cloud security, you have DLP and things like that. And if you decide to go to Carta or to Zero Trust, that will be difficult because you are missing some of the pieces before that. So again, this slide was created to help customers to understand where they are and what they need to basically buy in the future in order to go further on this digital transformation path. How can we help? Because that's a question. We are a vendor, so we can help you. There are different, of course, key security categories. I will not everything that is here, but you have everything from cloud adoption to critical and IP protection, workforce, and things like that. And there are some key persons inside organizations that should have these things on their mind. Everything from VP, director security to a risk officer. There are again some key employees that again should have this transformation on their mind. Also, there are some security initiatives. So for secure cloud adoption, you can have some initiatives. You need to do this, you need to do that. For critical data and IP, the same thing. For workforce, workforce and chain protection, supply chain protection, same thing. So there are some security initiatives. There are, of course, not all the initiatives here that are part of this, let's say pillars. Now, Forcepoint can help you with this portfolio. So this at the bottom is our portfolio. It's not a huge one. We basically do not want to have a huge portfolio because it's easier to maintain and we can develop faster. We can fix issues faster. But the main idea here, which is not that clear on this projector, but the main idea, it is for me. But the main idea here is that you have a number of products. Next generation firewall, SD-WAN is part of the same product. We have sandboxing, web security, email security, DLP, cloud security, and things like that, inside the thread, whatever. And as you can see, some of them overlap. And this is important to understand because if, for example, you are someone focusing on critical data and IP protection, and you do not want to discuss with workforce and supply chain protection inside the company, you'll have a problem. Why is that? Because, for example, cloud security, email security, for example, can also go to critical data and IP protection, but also to workforce and supply chain protection. And there are other examples as well. Web security. Web security can, of course, go to critical data and IP protection because, I mean, let's be honest, it's a web channel that you need to protect. But also, web security can be used for secure cloud adoption and network user protections. So inside an organization, everything needs to come together. As I said earlier, especially with networks, your network admins need to sit down and talk with the security guys in order to achieve something which in theory should work perfectly. So we have that. Now, I'm not exactly sure which is the next slide. Okay. Questions so far? No? It's too much? It's clear? It's not clear? Anyway. You can ask me after the presentation. Now, a few words about something new that will come in from Forcepoint is this Forcepoint Converged Security Platform. Forcepoint Converged Security Platform is something that hopefully we'll release it by the end of the year, and is a pure cloud platform. I will not say solution. It's a pure cloud platform. We want to be cloud first with our products, and it's basically a marketplace, quote unquote, a marketplace that can integrate with your existing infrastructure, with your existing products, but then just simply selecting and clicking different other products, you can add them into a basket and you can have them again cloud-based. So for example, if you don't have a web security web gateway solution, or it's expiring, or it's end of life, end of sale, whatever, and you want to have something which is cloud-based because you are ahead of your competition in this digital transformation race, you can just go to your Converged Security platform, select web security, add it to the shopping cart, I would say, boom, you have it. It will be, in theory, that simple, but again, it will be hopefully launched by the end of the year. And the biggest advantage of this, because we already have pure web cloud security, pure email, cloud email security, so we have that. But the biggest advantage is that it will be able to integrate with third-party solutions that you already have in your organizations. The first point difference, I think the biggest one is this human-centric cybersecurity that we have it today. I can show it to you in my lab. There is no problem. It's not only marketing materials or something like that. It exists today. It can be used. And the rest of the things I will skip it for now, because probably you want to go to your break. So what are the next steps that you can take? First, you can have a demo. You can have a proof of concept. It can be either, well, demos can be either online or on-premise. Proof of concept usually on-premise in your organization, in your infrastructure. You can engage with us. Me, I'm here for the rest of the day. But you can also engage with certified engineers from our partners. We also have some partners over here. And if you have time and if you'd like, you can go to Boston. We have a brand new Cyber Security Experience Center, which looks awesome, and you have access to basically, let's say, all the Forcepoint resources. You can follow us on, like, I think everything social media, especially on YouTube. There are some really nice technical videos, so it's not, well, we have the marketing ones, of course, but we also have some technical stuff that you can look at. And before the break, I just want to, I think it's 30 seconds or whatever long video. And then if you have questions, I'm here. If not, I'm here also during the break, and we can chat. So I think this is like the best summary of what we discussed. Just few words for short. You have one employee, you trust him, he has bring your own devices. It can be productive everywhere, but it can also be targeted everywhere, and things like that. So humans and data from now on should be in the center of your security projects. That's it.
Thank you.